Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus again. I want to thank you so very much for stopping here on this post. And I hope it is one of the best decisions you've ever made. I'm hoping this because I need your help. I have decided to accept what I have been trying to deny most of my life. And that is that I have been selected amongst all of my brothers and sisters to take a responsibility for God, to see that the people of this earth, but beginning here in America, understands God. Not the figment of imaginations that have been passed down through the centuries, but no, really get to know God. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, based upon what I have been sharing with you, what I have been receiving from the Spirit, that directly involves love for you, takes away any possible doubt that this is from anyone else other than a power that you can't see, you can't touch, you can't feel. But all of the evidences of that existence is here. And now it is calling upon one more evidence. That is peace on earth and goodwill to all of us. This place where you, my friends, my sisters and brothers, we recognize that we are all of one race. The human race, and our parent is God, Spirit. And that as the tree and everything that has been built by God for the purpose of whatever it was created for, does what it does, then so are we to do what we were designed to do. And that was to create heaven here on earth. But before we can create heaven here on earth, we must create heaven in our minds. We must create heaven in our hearts. And when we can do that, then we will settle for nothing outside of except that. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know that God is real. God really loves you. And this heaven thing, every last one of you got your own individual idea of what heaven is. There's no me can tell everybody what heaven is like. No, each one of us got our own heaven. And that's what God made it for, each of us to have our own heaven. And for each of us to play our own individual role in maintaining our own heaven. It just so happens that those heavens, as many as they might be, they are all interconnected in certain things when it comes down to human beings. And that is survival. Survival. That means your existence, your continued existence is based upon your ability to master what those survival requirements are. And they are common amongst you all. And all of the resources necessary to fulfill every last one of them have been given to each of us by the parent. Only the heart of God can understand how to weave these things together so that it will all come out the proper way. The proper way is when you and I and everybody else is satisfied. And there's no better way to have that exist than invite every last one of us, every last one of you, to be involved in this creative process, to be real with one another, beginning with ourselves. And that God, that power that we can't see, has designed in such a way that we can begin with joy. And that is the ability to know who and what we are and why we are. But more than that, the opportunity to be who we are. And we call that a career of our own choosing. A career of our own choosing. And what do we choose? We choose that gives us our greatest joy. We don't mind getting up early in the morning or staying up late at night if that is required. But in the meantime, it's the joy if we can only do it for a little while. And so we all are engaged in a process. And that process is from the divine in such a way that as we exercise our gifts, as we reach out and do what we do, it is so interconnected, you've heard me say it more times than one, that what you're actually doing, you're creating an abundance, those requirements necessary for survival, beginning but not limited to health care from the womb to the tomb. Every individual on the face of the earth loves that. Every God that you got you having complete health care. And any knowledge, information you need, you ought to be educated, unlimited and unrestricted. You got the right to know whatever you need to know, whatever you want to know, whatever you desire to know. And that is unlimited and unrestricted. That is a birthright from the God that I speak to you about. You don't have to worry about anything stopping you from getting your education. Money, what is that? And then, ladies and gentlemen, we gotta what? Survive. We got to eat. And so you know what has been done to prepare for that. And now that is to be done by those only that love it, not for the job, but for what it is and what it gives to them, and allow them to give back. And everybody is happy because they're doing what they are supposed to do. And now we have created an abundance of food and clothing and shelter and housing and education and health care and infrastructure and recreation, everything, transportation, whatever you can imagine. It's been set up for it to be fulfilled. You see that, ladies and gentlemen? And those basic things that we strive for every day, that we work ourselves into the ground for every day, have just been explained to you in a way that just listening to it takes away all of the pressure that you feel all the time. Because it's a new day. It's a new day. What I'm talking to you about, ladies and gentlemen, is coming out of that old way. I'm talking to you about stepping into the new world of love. That's what I'm asking you to do. That's what I'm talking to you about. This means you and I have got to be the greatest lovers this world has ever known. We have to stand up against the number one adversary. Now that number one adversary might be described in many different ways from the different minds. But the tool that is used is number one all across the land. And that is money. It almost appears as if money is boss. And most people might think that whoever got the most money is boss. Only when they ever get in that spot to recognize that he who creates the money, who determines what money is to represent, and how much of it, and who is to get it, and the value of it, well, that's who really runs the show. But right now, we as human beings in America have been deceived to say we're going to transplant the God that I just shared with you about for a hunger for money. With the hunger for money, you don't have to care about one another. In fact, you think you got more money, you're better than they are. It doesn't matter how little you got, as long as you got more than somebody else, you think you're better than they are. That's why the 1% think that they're better than the whole entire of the human race. Do you agree with that? You must agree if you think that you are any better than anyone else. And if you don't agree with it, you must admit that you are no better than anyone else. And if you want this peace, if you want this prosperity that just craves you, digging at you, and you all do, I do, we got to make a change. We got to make a change. Everything that you've tried ever since you have been here on this planet has not brought anybody closer to this. In fact, you haven't cared about anybody but yourself. I'm trying to bring you to a different level of reality. If you want to get out of that hell bit, you got to think about this. You're not the only one. Others do too. So you can come out together. You can come out together much, much faster. But it's going to require change. It's going to require a change. Now we are going against a system that has been built on money. They are today trying to get a war going. And I hear they want to send tens of thousands of men and women over to the Persian Gulf. In the event this thing just boils over and they are ordered to kill and be killed, because that's what's going to go down. This is the world, ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. This is the world that you live in. And God has nothing to do with it. It is created by your choice. You have made the choice to be here, but you didn't anticipate this. You thought it was going to be different. Why did you think it? Because you were deceived. You were told it was going to be different. You were told it was going to work especially for you because you were so special. But now we're at this point that all of us can see that deception have no friends except those that can be used in a time of need. And other than that, there is no importance. But not with God, ladies and gentlemen. We can see all of humanity the way it really is. I want you now to forget it. Forget it. Don't think about going overboard with these other systems. Don't think about it. You can't do anything about it just thinking about it. Make a change. Make a change to build up, to strengthen all of this big gap between them and us, because they do not know any better as you have not known any better. But you're being challenged today. You're being called to come out of that sucker and start acting like a child that's filled with the spirit of the almighty love that I've been telling you about for about 40 years. And now you allow that spirit to live in you. And because that spirit is in you, you are bold and you are daring. Why? Because you care and you love. And what does that basically mean? That is that everybody get a chance for their dreams to be realized. And every deceiver, every liar, any virus that comes against us while we can see it, we will identify it and show it the way of love. Now I'm trying to cause poor people to wake up. I'm not just trying to reach poor people. They hurt the most. You would think they'll be willing to give the most. But like you've been trained for the position you're in, they've been trained for the position they're in. All I'm saying to everybody is that you're sinking in hell if you cannot see the light. The light will tell you that it does not have to be this way. The light will show you that it can be another way. The light will reveal to you that you've put your trust in others while you shut up, sat down, and watched television and played games. And they backbid you all the way to here we are today. All God is saying to you through the message is that you are responsible for yourself. Now, your trust is not just blind. Your trust is through observation and the ability to dictate when something is going offline that it's got to be dealt with right. That is every individual responsibility on earth. You owe that to yourself. If there was nobody else on the face of the earth but you owe it to yourself. And now that there are billions of you on this earth, you still owe it to yourself. In order for it to work righteously, you got to work together. You got to recognize that what you love, others love it too. What is it? Life. And stop following this, we are better. Every nation thinks they are better. And every nation's people think they are better than every other nation's people. Every nation got their own emphasis on the power of God. And they think theirs is the best. What else they going to think? That's what they've been taught to think. Who's going to teach their people that they are downtrodden, hell-bent to no good? Who's going to teach their people that? No one. They're not going to tell them the whole truth. But they're going to tell them enough to keep them in line. But I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, the Spirit of God wants you to know that if it ain't working for you, it ain't right. And it got to work for all of you, or it's not from God. So I'm telling you this, ladies and gentlemen, so you can understand that as long as things are as they are, going the way they are, Republicans doing their thing, Democrats doing their thing, the people suffering, all of that has got to go. The politicians right now running to want to be your representative, they must know. Don't come here telling us what you think and what you see. You come and ask us what it is that we want you to do, and we're going to make sure that you know. Not only that, we're going to ask you how can you implement that. We want to know how your vision works. We want to know what degree of love you got in your backpack. No more games. See, we really want to know because we're hoping that you know better than we. Because we definitely have seen it through. But we're giving you a shot to take us higher, or your ability to take us where we know. That's what it's all about. I don't want to hear you come here telling me these lies I've been hearing all my life. No, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. I don't care who you are. I don't care what degree of education you got. I don't care what ethnicity you claim. If you're a human being, I don't trust you unless you have committed your life and got evidence to prove it, to back it up, that you have been living concerned about every individual on this earth. That first of all, they don't recognize no superiority by any man. That all recognition for superiority above themselves goes directly to God. There's no organization, no nation, nowhere on the face of the earth that you should give control to. They didn't bring you here. They don't even want to feed you. They don't even want to educate you. They don't even want to give you health care. And you listening to them. You better go back to God where you come from. Every individual that's listening to my voice. God ain't going to cause you to want a war. No, God is a lover. And we are lovers. And the people that stand against what we are talking about today are lovers too. They just don't know. We are just blessed to be able to wake up this soon. We're just blessed to be able to wake up this soon. And now, when we are awake and we're walking according to the new directive path that we have, then our wattage gets brighter and brighter, and those who are still asleep can begin to be drawn to the Spirit of God, God Almighty love, because their prayers will begin to be answered, and they themselves will be putting their hands to the plow and playing a major role in its manifestation. And I ain't pointing no finger at anybody, because they are all doing their due. Ladies and gentlemen, just the thing I want to share with you. I want to change America. I want to see America turn to paradise. I want it to be here on earth just like it is in heaven. Now, I don't know how old you are, but I understand America has been here for a couple of 100 years. And if you go back and check her history, just do a little scamming, a little scheming, a little investigation, and you will see what America has been over these past couple of 100 years. And you ask yourself, is this representative of you? Is this all that you are about? Is this all you can be? Especially at a time when you can see yourselves about to backtrack to the hell you saw yourself growing from. Can't you just imagine that? Well, now you have the opportunity to stop that. So, I want to thank you once again for giving me this your time. Be listening. I'm Eddie Marcus, and I have quite a few YouTube videos posted, some on Facebook. And so if you run across me, do some investigation of it and see the things that I'm talking about. Because I'm sure whatever questions you have, and I'm sure you should have many, but I can guarantee you whatever question you got, I got a video out there with an answer on it. You might have to do some running around, but some main things I say always in every video, and that's the glorifying of God. And God is the source. God is the center of all that I talk to you about. And God is a spirit. It's not a man. It's not a woman. It's not an American or somebody else. It's a spirit. And every last one of us got a door straight to the spirit, straight and narrow. You and I, each one of us, all billions of us got a straight shot there. And that's the way it's supposed to be. Because it is that source that flows to us, that love that flows to us, that guides us, that shows us life and enables us to live. So, check me out. I want to thank you once again. And we got work to do. I'm not just talking to you for talk's sake. I'm claiming to be that voice out there speaking for heaven on earth. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go, let me tell you why I'm doing that. Out of all these years that I've been doing this, I have never heard anyone speak about God and speak about God's purpose for us on earth and what God is doing. I've never heard anybody speak to that as I have been speaking to it. Now, I don't know why I haven't heard anybody. I would like to think that somebody's saying it somewhere. But I never heard it. But it was given to me. See, some people just, they stop. They all, well, I won't even go there. It was given to me. And so I am sharing it. There have been two organizations that I believe referenced it. There was an organization called Zeitgeist. Now they speak. They're much more technical than I am. But the specifics, right there on the same money. And there's something called the Venus Project with Joseph, I can't recall his last name right now. But the Venus Project and Zeitgeist, they take this thing to a different level. But basically, as can be understood by every last one of us, simple enough for every last one of us to understand, this is what I'm bringing to you. And once we can master this, there are no limits to where we're going to go. There are no limits to where we're going to go, because God would have been set free from the boundaries of money. Thank you.